I know when I wake, I know when I wake up at that 3 o'clock hour what that means. So I went into prayer and warfare, and I got back into bed around about 4:30. And then because I said, well, it's real early, I'm gonna see if I can close my eyes for another hour or so I could get up and get ready for Behind the Veil. But then I woke up again around 6 and went back into prayer. This time, when I went back into prayer, it was just weeping. And I just got up out of prayer maybe around about 8 o'clock this morning. And, but God was dealing with me in such a way until I could see the massive failure of my generation. My generation failed. We failed on a massive scale. Now, there are some of us who are still here as a remnant of my generation. I'm 71 years old. And some of us are still here as a remnant. I'm still here. And some of us are still here and still useful. And there was a reason why we're here. Those of us who are remaining here, there's a reason for it. And we should really thank God that he thought enough of us not to take us out of here. David said in Psalm 71, 18, oh God, thou hast taught me from my youth. So I've been saved since I was 21, but I knew God early on in my life because my mother, her generation didn't fail me. And I knew God in a way that most young men in the street didn't know God. So I was brought to Sunday school and I was taught how to pray. Even though I wasn't saved, I was taught how to pray. My mama did that for me. I do believe that it was those early foundational things that Mother Hunt put in me that caused me to survive the street and survive drug addiction and survive gangsterism and hoodlum, being a hoodlum. I think I survived those things because of what Mother Hunt instilled in me. And I thank God for her for that. And so David said, thou, O God, has taught us or taught me from my youth, and hitherto have I declared thy wondrous works. But, O God, now that I am old and gray-headed, forsake me not until I've shown thy strength to this generation. So those of us who are still here, that are in our 60s and 70s, we're here as a remnant to oversee this generation. Our generation, in a large part, failed. And I'm going to show you why I said we failed. Right now, we're in the midst of a pandemic that they don't know which way it's going to go, and they're keeping their fingers crossed. Well, we're praying and interceding, but they're keeping their fingers crossed that between now and March, this pandemic will be clearly defined as to which way it's going. They're hoping that it is waning. That's what their hope is. And my prayer is that it is. I don't want to be like Elijah, feeling like God's people need a prolonged whooping. No, this thing needs to lift. But there are ways to initiate that. And it's incumbent upon the body of Christ. So we're in the midst of a pandemic. People are dying. I don't know what the death toll is now daily. Somebody look it up. I want one of my administrators to look up and see what the daily death toll from COVID is now, the daily death toll. Not only that, we have been pushed back. I want y'all to hear this. God dropped this in my spirit this morning, and it was just painful. We have been pushed back to before 1965. We got people on here that wasn't even born. We've been pushed back, Apostle Claudette, to before 1965 in terms of voting. We've been pushed back so far. Listen to this, y'all. This broke my heart this morning. We've been pushed back so far until the man who led the march to get us voting rights, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., his son, Martin Luther King III, is out hobbling, got a hold on to his wife's shoulder while he marching, trying to get back what his daddy got for us that our generation lost. I want that to sink in for a second. We lost voting rights on our watch, our generation. All of us ain't messed up, but we messed up bad. We've been pushed back to before 1965. We've been pushed back so far until we lost a whole generation of rights. Let that sink in your mind. We got people on here wasn't even born. Melissa wasn't born. Melissa Jimenez wasn't born. Sequoia Seawood wasn't born. I can go back farther than that. Some of y'all on here wasn't born. If you're a 70s baby, you wasn't born. Prophet Renee wasn't even born. I can go back, some of y'all wasn't born. This is how far we've been pushed back. We've been pushed back to before many of y'all were born on here. Nicole Burton, you wasn't born, daughter. We've been pushed back to before 1965. We've been pushed back so far until Martin Luther King III is trying to march, hobbling, got a hold on to his wife to march. All the progress that was made has been erased. And we don't know. So right now, there are how many deaths a day? I saw it, but I flashed momentarily. What does it say?
It's 3,376. I mean, I didn't round it up to 4,000, but 3,376 a day.
So about 3,400 deaths a day of COVID. That's a lot of people dying, y'all, still dying. Now that's an uptick, and people ain't paying attention to that because it was down to around about 1,700. Now it's twice as many, it's back up. And so this is where we are. This is where we are. And this morning in prayer, I felt it heavy. Last night, I played 3 videos that had been sent to me. I'm going to play them in the order that was played last night. This ain't going to be pretty. I don't want y'all to think that I am singling anybody out. I'm not singling nobody out. I had to own this failure. I called Apostle Thomas this morning. I don't know if he's on. He said he was going to get on with me. He's handling some business right now, but he said he's going to hop on. And I called him this morning. I said, our generation failed. We have a massive failure. And we can point our fingers all we want to, and we can fuss, but this is a failure. And we failed. We failed badly. We failed on a large scale. We failed harshly. So what I'm about to do is not to point fingers at these young people, at these millennial folk, but rather it is for us to see how bad we failed and why we got a pandemic with 3,400 people dying a day, and why we've lost rights that the generation before me, Martin Luther King, would be 90-some years old. Something that the generation before me fought for and earned with their blood. John Lewis was beat within an inch of his life just to be able to vote. And we lost it on our watch. I put a post up last night. Justice Clarence Thomas was the only dissenter on the Supreme Court that ruled Uncle Tom, Clarence Thomas ruled. He was a dissenter that they should not turn over Donald Trump's archives to the January 6th committee investigators. And I just said, I was being a little coy, 8-1 ruling with Justice Thomas, the only dissenter. Then I said, wait a minute, didn't his wife? Then I said, never mind. Because his wife paid for the buses to transport people there for that insurrection. Yeah, she did it. And so they think folk ain't looking. But this house of cards that we're dealing with right now, this is a mess. And here's where our preachers are. Play that first one in the order we played them last night.
The Bible says he was tempted not in some points, but what? Why does it tell us that? And that's a strong statement to say that he was tempted in all points. Why would he say that? And I think it's very powerful to understand that. I think we never take the time to really consider the feelings that was going through Jesus's body when Mary Magdalene was ministering to him. I don't think we ever think about that, because Mary Magdalene wasn't no novice. Let me put it out there. She was a prostitute. Y'all quiet in here. She was a prostitute. Yeah. Let me keep. Now I don't know what she's a prostitute, but when she got saved, she didn't forget how to touch a man. So she knew how to touch him. And something she did. I don't know what it was. But something made him say, she touched me. Something happened, and now I know. I can't marry her, so just mention her. The Bible says he was tempted not in some points.
So who he is not important. What he's saying, though, is blasphemous and it's scary, but it shows our failure.
How sick is that?
It shows our failure, Apostle Turner.
Sick.
He's saying that Jesus was turned on sexually by Mary Magdalene's touch. And when I can't even be angry with him. I can't even be angry with Brian Carr. I'm angry with our generation that when he was coming up, didn't nobody get him. When he was coming up, they didn't reel him in and teach him for real. They were too busy manipulating and using him to raise money, to draw crowds. And now he's so far out there, he's going to tell a congregation that what Jesus said that Mary Magdalene was doing when she anointed him, she was preparing him for his burial, his death, and his burial. Read the Bible. And what he's saying that she was doing turned Jesus on, and he felt aroused by it. And he could, and right now, this young man can pack out an arena right now. Next one. I ain't gonna even deal with that. I just want to show you something.
Don't play with the prophet, nor put your mouth on the prophet.
Let the God that answers by fire be God. There's a witch challenging me right now. The one I see is watching from online. She's literally doing this and where's the camera? Because I want you to know something. And y'all can talk about me when you leave, but she ain't doing this to you. She doing this to me. So I want to say to you, lest you want your life, lest you want to live past tonight, I would encourage you to repent. And I'm not giving you 3 days. I'm giving you 3 hours. See, when I was in the world, I fist fought, and I ain't lose one. But now that I'm saved, I fight in a different way. And I got on makeup today. And y'all know I don't wear makeup. But I'm saying to you, lest you still want to be in the land of the living, you have until midnight to repent. Lest you give up the ghost by 12:01 a.m. And if you think your God, lowercase g, is stronger than my God, I say to you tonight, let the God that answers by fire be God. I don't have anything fancy for you. I don't have no good quote, no scripture, because I understand the power of my words.
Don't play with the prophet, nor put your mouth.
So now prophets are pronouncing death on people in 3 hours. So in 3 hours, you'll be dead. So many words. Not in 3 hours, you're going to be saved and God's going to save you. But you're going to die because you oppose me some kind of way. This is this generation. This is this generation. I'm not mad with her. I'm upset with my generation. I took it in prayer this morning. Because these are our children. These are our children. That's who they are. There were times when my mother had to come get me. Because I was her son. Somebody got to go get her. Somebody got to go get Brian Carn. Somebody got to go get these people. Play the next one.
Changing something and you don't see it clearly yet, but you hear. And this is where most people would not face Jesus anymore. What most people would do is turn away. What I'm telling you is just as he's physically standing here, knowing what's coming, God's saying, can you physically and spiritually and emotionally be able to stand when getting the vision or receiving it might get nasty? I'm gonna say it in a point just like that. Receiving vision from God might get nasty. You mean, God, I just bought, in crazy faith, I just bought my dream car. And now you're gonna ask me to sell it back and ride in the hoopty again? Yeah, because the vision I'm about to give you, it might get nasty.
That's enough. That's enough. This is what I took in prayer, and I wept on 2 different occasions in prayer this morning. It just troubled me to no end. Moses prayed something in Numbers 11. Go to Numbers 11. Start at verse number 11. Can y'all hear me good?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Numbers 11:11. They're outside my door. Look like they get anointed to get outside my door this morning, doing the yard work, the devil. Numbers 11:11.
And Moses said unto the Lord,
This is how I felt this morning. Read.
and Moses said unto the Lord, wherefore hast thou afflicted thy servant? And wherefore have I not found favor in thy sight, that thou layest the burden of all these people upon me?
Moses felt an affliction. I felt an affliction this morning. I literally felt an affliction this morning in prayer. And all I could think about was when Moses was praying to God over Israel and them being in the wilderness and how they had deviated so far in their thinking and in their faith and where they were and what he felt from God at that moment. He felt afflicted, and I felt that first. And I'm going to show you what else God showed me later. Read.
Have I conceived all this people? Have I begotten them, that thou shouldest say unto me?
Moses tried to alleviate himself from being responsible. This is the reason why I say I had to really pray this morning, because God wanted me to see that my generation failed. It might not necessarily be my own personal failure, but in a way it is. Because I could have been more for God. I could have had a greater voice. I could have had more children to impact. Tiffany Montgomery could be my daughter. Brian Carn could be my son. Mike Todd could be my son. So in that sense, I feel a failure. And Moses was feeling it. He said, have I conceived all this people that you should what?
Say unto me, carry them in thy bosom, as a nursing father beareth the suckling child, unto the land which thou swearest unto their fathers.
You see, that's what we're supposed to be doing. We're supposed to get God's people to God's promises. Now, no one of us can do it alone, you see. And if we reign together. And if we fail, we fail together. We failed in this. And Moses was feeling failure. Moses was sensing the moment that he was failing in what he was doing. He was sensing the moment that he was failing. See, he didn't turn around and blame them. He sensed the moment that he was not up for this job and that he was not rising to the level and to the occasion that he needed to in order to not fail. And watch what he said.
When should I have flesh to give unto all this people? For they weep unto me, saying, give us flesh that we may eat. I am not able.
We didn't feed them right. When they was hungry, we was feeding them with messages of prosperity. When they was really hungry to know God and to be close to God, but we was telling them to get rich. When we should have been teaching them how to pray and fast. When we should have been teaching them to read the Bible. We was teaching them about millionaires and billionaires. Read.
I am not able to bear all this people alone, because it is too heavy for me.
Read.
And if thou deal thus with me, kill me.
Now Moses is saying, God, if you're dealing this way with me, kill me. Kill me if this is how you're dealing with me. Kill me. And what?
I pray thee, out of hand, if I have found favor in thy sight, and let me not see my wretchedness.
He said, and let me not see my wretchedness. That came to me this morning while I was praying. How Moses took his job so serious until he's asking God that if I'm going to fail, then kill me now. That he's asking God that if I can't deliver your people into the land that you swear, if I can't get them there, then what I want you to do, God, is kill me now. Rid me out of your sight. Whatever you do, he says, don't let me see my wretchedness. Those videos that I showed you this morning, those videos are letting me see my wretchedness. Those videos is letting me see the wretchedness of my generation. Those videos is letting me see the raw. That's what that word wretched is, wretchedness, raw, meaning to spoil. Those videos let me see how we spoiled and ruined a generation. Literally by breaking into pieces. That's what this word raw is, or wretchedness. Moses said, don't let me see my wretchedness. Then watch what this means. It means to make or be good for nothing. Don't let me see my good for nothingness. So let me tell you what I see. I see our good for nothingness. I see our wretchedness. We wasn't good enough to prevent this nonsense here. We wasn't good enough to train our children better than this. We wasn't good enough to raise our children better than this, to teach them better than this. He said, don't let me see my wretchedness. Don't let me see my good for nothingness. My failure reflects in my children, how I've raised them up. And I'm not just talking, I can't say nothing about them. I really can't. When we were doing bad in the street, you know what somebody would walk up to and ask us? Boy, where your daddy? Boy, who's your mother? And that right there was enough to check us. Boy, I'm gonna tell Mildred Hunt on you. That was enough to put us in check right then. What happened? What happened? When I went in prayer at 3 o'clock, that's what I was feeling. That's where I was. God, you're letting us see our wretchedness now. God, you are showing us our wretchedness. And then watch this. Here's the sad thing about it. We got a whole generation of folk who want to be like them. We got some folk now that ain't even their generation, ought to be their mothers, that want to be like them. We got a generation following them that should be leading them. I'm going to say that again. We got a generation following them, wanting to be like them, that should be leading them, that should be showing them how to pray and how to live right and how to walk upright. That's what we should be doing. We got a whole generation that's above them, older than them, following them, want to dress like them, want to act like them, want to be like them. And we are looking right at our wretchedness. Go to Isaiah 30:17. let me peep outside my door because I'm about to tell this man to get on away from my door with this. All right. Isaiah chapter 30, verse 17.
1,000 shall flee at the rebuke of one.
He said 1,000 shall flee. This is where we at now. This is why we've lost voting. We've been thrown back to 1965, before 1965. We dropped the ball there. And now we've lost all the games that we used to have. And the best we got, our brightest and our best, I just showed you. The ones that they're pushing forth to be our brightest and our best, I just showed you, and we done lost voting rights. We're still in the midst of a pandemic where 3,400 people are dying every day from a virus, and that's the best we got. And then we got a whole generation that want to be like it. We got 50-somethings that want to be like them. Well, it's the truth. We got 50-something-year-olds that want to act like and be like them, instead of being an example for them. 1,000 shall flee at the rebuke of one. This was the judgment. Or ge'arah. That word rebuke is ge'arah, or at the chiding. He said 1,000 shall flee at the rebuke of one. This was a judgment that God says that 1,000 would run at the scolding or at the rebuke of one. 1,000 of y'all gonna flee, gonna run at the scolding or the rebuking of one, or the chiding of one. Come on.
At the rebuke of 5 shall ye flee.
At the rebuke of 5 shall ye flee. So God said, I'm gonna let your enemies rebuke you and put you to flight. Make you run, make you flee. You're gonna lose ground. And 1,000 shall flee at the rebuke of one, and 5 at the rebuke of 5 shall ye flee. We're gonna take a whole lot of folk to take from you what you have and to strip you from your gain. Come on.
Till ye be left as a beacon upon the top of the mountain.
Till you be what?
Left as a beacon.
Till you be left as a beacon. In other words, it's going to be so bad until I'm going to leave you like a beacon or a torrent or a pole or a mast or a flagstaff or a flagpole with a flag on it on top of a mountain. Read that. Watch this. Read what he says. I ain't gonna stop you. Watch what he said you're gonna look like. Everybody gonna see you. Everybody gonna see your wretchedness. Everybody gonna see you spitting on folks' face. Everybody gonna see you talking about Jesus got aroused when Mary Magdalene washed his feet. The world gonna see it. That spit was carried on TMZ. It was beamed all over. And it was shown so that everybody could look and see, you know what? That's the reason why I don't have nothing to do with them church folks. He says, until what? Till
Till
you
you-
be left as a what?
As a beacon upon the top of a mountain
Mhm.
and as an ensign on a hill.
So that beacon and that ensign, that's a flagpole and a flag. So in other words, when you're riding down the road and you see a flagpole and you see a flag flying, it's designed to get your attention for whatever reason. If it's a flag of a country, it's designed to get your attention to invoke patriotism. But the flagpole and the flag is designed to make you turn and look at it. He says, when I get through with you, everybody gonna turn and look at you. Everybody gonna turn and look at your rebuke. When I get done, everybody gonna turn and look at you. That's what they're gonna do. And that's what's happening right now. Everybody turning and looking at us. And you can say what you want to say. You know what? We can point our finger and we can say, oh, that's a shame, nasty Mike Todd, and ooh, crazy Brian Carn, and oh, crazy Tiffany McGovern. We can say all that we want to, but they're looking at the whole church.
Good morning.
The entire church. That's our wretchedness we're looking at. We're looking at our wretchedness right there. We're looking at our own wretchedness. We're looking at our own good for nothingness. That's what we're looking at. I'm not mad with them. I can't be mad with them. Read.
And therefore will the Lord wait, that he may be gracious unto you.
Therefore will the Lord wait. Therefore will the Lord wait, that he may be gracious unto you. I'm going to wait to be gracious to you. The word grace there, or gracious, is the word konan, which means to bend or to stoop in kindness. He said, I could do it now, but I'm gonna wait. I can stop this right now, but I'm gonna wait. The word konan, or gracious, also was translated from the word favor was translated from that same word. I can show you favor now, but I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna let everybody see your wretchedness first. Oh, I'm coming. But I'm gonna let everybody see how far you've gone. I'm gonna let everybody see how far you've fallen. I'm gonna let everybody see. I'm gonna let everybody see all you doing is dressing up in costumes. That's all you're doing. You're dressing up in costumes. You're putting your bishop robes on and ordaining folks and making apostles. Oh yeah, we doing it. But I'm gonna let everybody, I'm gonna wait before I show my graciousness. I'm gonna wait until I bend to stoop in kindness to you. I'm gonna wait to show you favor. I'm gonna do it, but I'm gonna wait to do it. Read it again.
And therefore will the Lord wait, that he may be gracious unto you. And therefore will he be exalted.
In other words, I'm gonna let you fall down so far. I'm gonna let you go down so low. I'm gonna allow you to become so wretched until when I move, I'm gonna be exalted. Oh, I can't leave you like that. Because if I leave you like that, then I'm never going to get no glory. I'm going to let you go down so far till when I show you my graciousness, that I'm going to be exalted. I'm going to get something for this. God was basically saying, I'm going to get something for Mike Todd spitting in that boy's face. I'm going to get something for that girl telling folks they're gonna die in 3 hours. I'm gonna get something for Brian Carn telling folks that Jesus got turned on when I'm gonna get something for that. When I get done letting you look ugly, when I get done letting judgment be on you, I'm gonna get something from it. I'm gonna be exalted when in the end.
Yes.
That's the only silver lining for me.
Praise God.
Read.
And therefore will he be exalted, that he may have mercy upon you. For the Lord is a God of judgment.
For the Lord is a God of judgment. The Lord is a God of judgment. Mishpat. That this is my verdict. That what you're looking at is my verdict against you. That spit, that was a verdict. In the midst of a pandemic, you spitting and putting rub and spit in folks' face. You in front of a camera in a room when you should be in your secret closet praying. You trying to impress everybody how deep you are, and coming out of your so-called deepness and pronouncing judgment on somebody when you should have been in your prayer closet. Well, I'm gonna get some. I'm gonna get some. God, but like I'm gonna get some glory out of this. I am. It ain't gonna be how you think it is, but I'm gonna get some. Read.
Blessed are all they that wait
When I
for
get
him.
done, everybody gonna know I'm a God of judgment. Blessed are all those that do what?
That wait for him.
Mm-hmm.
For the people shall dwell in Zion at Jerusalem.
For the people shall dwell in Zion at Jerusalem. When I get done, they're gonna dwell in Zion at Jerusalem. Come on, Aja, Yellow Bosa.
Thou shalt weep no
Means
more.
conspicuousness. I'm gonna make where they live in me to be conspicuous. And thou shalt what? Weep no more.
He will be very gracious unto thee at the voice of thy cry.
In other words, when I get done, I'm gonna bend in stupid kindness and pick you up out of that mess. Come on.
When he shall hear it, he will answer thee. And though the Lord give you the bread of adversity.
And though the Lord give you the bread of adversity, because this is what this is. Though the Lord give you the bread of adversity, bread is for food, for eating. And though I give you the food of adversity, the bread of trouble, though I put you in a tight place, that's what the word sauce are in the Hebrew for adversity. I put you in a hard place. I gave you an opponent. And though I give you bread of adversity, I fed you with bread of adversity. Oh, even though I've given you the bread of adversity, and here's the bad part. And what?
The water of affliction.
Do you know the word water here, or mayim in the Hebrew? One of the things that it means is piss. Piss. Yeah, that piss. That's what it means. In other words, your water is going to be like urine. That's what that looks like when you talk about water of affliction. He's talking about how bad I'm going to let it get before I turn it. That they're going to see this. That's what they're looking at. I'm going to give you the bread of adversity and the water of affliction. I wish there's some more stuff I want to say, but I don't say it. Come on.
Yet shall not thy teachers be removed into a corner anymore. But thine
What did
eyes,
you say?
yet shall not thy teachers be removed into a corner anymore.
In other words, what I'm going to do is I'm going to so angry with them people out that door. Y'all hear that nonsense?
Yes, sir.
Y'all don't hear it?
I hear it.
Yes. God help.
It's not bad, Dr. Hunt.
It's
Okay.
Yeah, I can hear you fine, Doctor.
Yet shall not thy teachers be removed into a corner. You know what happened? Can y'all see what he's saying here? Apostle Dion, do you see this? Apostle Thomas, are you looking at this? He says, yet shall not thy teachers be removed into a corner. In other words, I'm not going to continue to allow your teachers to be moved into a corner. I'm not going to continue to allow your teachers, and that word teachers there, that's the same word that deals with the latter rain. Ain't got time today. I'll come back. Your teachers be moved into a corner. And what else?
But thine eyes shall see thy teachers.
But your eye shall see your teachers. That's what's necessary right now. These folks ain't got no teaching. The teachers have been moved in the corner. They are saying openly that can't nobody tell them nothing, that they only hear from God. They are saying openly because they ain't got no teachers. When Israel was without the true God, they was also without teaching priests. And these folks don't want no teaching. And they'll tell you they don't need no teaching. You know why? Here's why. Because the crowds validate them. But all they're doing is making folks twofold a child of hell that they are. God says, I'm not going to any longer allow your teachers to go sit in the corner. Y'all, this generation that made their teachers go sit in the corner. They done told the teacher, go sit down. Go over there and sit down. A whole generation done told their teachers to go sit down. You're not needed. We don't need you. You ain't got nothing you can say to me. I'm bigger, more famous, more popular than you. I got more folk following me than you. I don't need you. My crowds validate me. I must be all right. Look at all the people following me. I must be doing just fine. Read that verse again.
Yet shall not thy teachers be removed into a corner anymore. But
God says, I'm gonna take your teachers out of the corner. What else he gonna do with the teachers?
But thine eyes shall see thy teachers.
And I'm gonna let you see your teachers. You need your teachers now. Brian Carr need a teacher. Tiffany Montgomery need a teacher. You can't teach them if you want to be like them. You can't teach them if you want to use them to draw a crowd or raise some money. You can't teach them if that's what you want. You can't teach them if you want to follow them. I'm going to remove, he says, I'm going to remove your teachers from the corner and put your teachers in front of you again. This is what we got to pray. We got to pray that God remove the teachers from the corner. The teachers have been told to go and sit in the corner. Read.
And thine ears shall hear a word behind thee, saying,
And your ears are going to hear a word behind you saying what?
this is the way. Walk ye.
What? That's how I got to turn it. I got to let your ears hear a word behind you. I'm going to make your ears to hear a word behind you saying, this is the way, walk ye in it. This is the way, walk ye in it. This is the way. This is the direct. That's that word way. This is the course of life. This is the mode of action. This is the conversation you should be having. This is what your manners should be. This is what your customs should be. This is what your path should be. Read.
This is the way, walk ye in it.
This is what your habits should be. This is what your moral character should be. How is anybody's moral character going to be anything if people keep on hearing somebody they look up to tell them that Jesus got turned on when Mary Magdalene anointed him? And here's what God says. When you get teaching, when your teachers get out the corner, and when your teachers are in front of you again, and your ears gonna hear a word behind you saying, this is the way, walk ye in it. Go ahead.
When you turn to the right hand, and when you turn to the left, you shall defile also the covering of thy graven.
What you gonna get up and do then? The first thing you're gonna get up and do is you're gonna go and defile the covering of your graven images of silver. You're gonna go get rid of your gods. You're gonna get rid of your idols. That's the first thing you're gonna do. You're gonna go and defile them. Watch what he said, how you're gonna defile them. This is good, and I'm done.
And the ornament of thy molten images of gold. Thou shalt
You're gonna get rid of your silver images and your molten images of gold. You're gonna get rid of your idolatry. And you shall cast them away as a what?
Menstruous cloth. Thou shalt say unto it, get thee hence.
He says you're gonna cast them away as a menstruous cloth. It ain't a woman on here that don't know what that means. Men might not get, we can't get the full gist of that statement, but there ain't a woman on here that was taught anything by a mother or a grandmother or a big sister or some mother figure that don't know what this means. Every woman was taught. That's the last thing that you want anybody to see. You were taught that right there, you don't ever allow your husband to see it. You don't allow your children to see it. You were taught to handle that a certain kind of way for nobody else to come in contact with it. You were taught that no one ever should come in contact with that. I want you to really let this soak in your mind, because men, we might not be able to appreciate that thing. We might not be able, here's where we need a woman teaching this. Because a man might not be able to appreciate this to the fullest. Because we didn't have to go through that experience. And that's not an experience that we've had to deal with. But he says, you shall defile also the covering of your graven images. I want you to defile your idols and the covering of your silver images, graven images of silver, and the ornaments of your molten images of gold. I want you to defile them. I want you to tear them up. I want you to break them down. I want you to throw it away. I want you to get rid of your branding. I want you to get rid of all this brand. We done branded ourselves and we ain't nothing like we tell people we are, but we know how to brand ourselves now. And people respond to our Hollywood images. We think our hair is gonna make us famous. Ooh, look at my hair. Oh. That girl said, I'm not my hair. But nobody listened to her though. Was that girl named India Irie? She said, I'm not my hair, but wasn't nobody listening to her. We still branding ourselves. I'm not these suits. I'm not these alligator shoes. That's not who I am. I'm not these skinny jeans. We done branded ourselves. We go and we do stuff that's try to broaden our appeal to the generation rather than pointing out what's wrong. Thou shalt cast them away as a menstruous cloth. Again, I can't fully appreciate that, but every woman on here can. There are some men can live in a house with a woman for years and never see her menstrual cloths. Never see it. You know why? Because she was taught to deal with it a certain kind of way. And he says, you shall cast your idolatry away as a menstruous cloth. Thus shalt thou say to it, what?
Get thee hence.
Get out of here. And then what's going to happen?
Then shall he give the rain of thy seed.
Oh God. Then shall he give the rain of thy seed. When we get rid of the stuff, when we get rid of our mess, he gonna give the rain of his seed. Mm-hmm.
And thou shalt sow the ground withal, and bread of the increase of the earth, and it shall be fat and plenteous. In that day shall thy cattle feed in large pastures.
God says, I'm gonna turn it around for you. Unmute your mic.
They didn't see it personally. They knew there was something going on. And so there was an effect of.
Mute your mic and praise God. I
Yeah. Probably late August, early September.
Apostle Thomas, I called Apostle Thomas this morning because I was so heavy, so weepy, so disgusted.
Children, grandchildren, someone else.
And I know some of y'all have to work and you probably in environments where you can't. But if you can, just keep your mic on mute. And I called Apostle Thomas to share with him how I was feeling and to convey to him what God showed me we had lost. That our generation is to be blamed. We lost voting rights. We've been kicked all the way back to before 1965. We're in the middle of a pandemic. 3,400 people died yesterday from COVID. Our country is in a downward spiral. Our church is. Apostle Thomas said something to us, man of God.
God bless you, Apostle, and God bless you, saints. I mean, what can you say? We were talking this morning, and when you talk about Prophet Karn, I will say it, as you know, years ago when he came and I saw him, and these pastors was enamored by him. I told them then, he do not need you all to be impressed by him or excited. He don't need you all to use him. He needs you all to father him. And instead of making him a son, they made him a celebrity. And this is what you get for it. He was a young boy, 18, 19 years old, exciting. And people knew that you could bring him to the church and he's gonna get you several things. He's gonna get the young people excited. Old people gonna be excited because he's young and he's gifted, and the boy can raise money. And out of all that they saw the boy could raise money and he could excite folk. And instead of telling him to sit down, be quiet, and get something from God for real, they made him a celebrity and they pimped him. And this is the result. I talked to him, and out of respect, he listened to me. He endured me. He didn't listen. And I knew he couldn't hear me because he was too far gone at that time. And I just pray. I pray for us. And I pray that God have mercy on us and give us a turnaround, because we did this. We stopped fathering, and we went after fame instead of glory. We neglected our sons and daughters spiritually, and it was only what they could do for us, and forgot about what we could do for them. God have mercy on us. And now to see this boy, instead of trying to show forth the glory of God to work a miracle, he's given an illustration of how a miracle would work. And instead of talking about the glory of God, he's talking about nasty. And this young lady talking about killing somebody because she feels there's somebody online is working witchcraft. Lord, have mercy on us. And so it's just time to pray. Like you said, when you got almost 1 million folk in America that have died of COVID. We got tsunamis in the midst of winter storms. You got all these things happening right before our eyes. And this is the stuff that people think that they should come up with. This is what we get at church. To where TMC look at it and say, this is crazy. Lord have mercy. God bless you, Doctor.
I remember Apostle Thomas, when Prophet Karn was first being unveiled. At that time, his mother was still going around with him. And you remember that, when his mother used to go around with him, Apostle?
I know the whole story. I know stories that I won't say.
Okay. Yeah. I know about them too. But I remember, and here's what put me off with him, and I never had much use for him since. I'm sorry. There are certain things that I see that if you do, if I don't ever see you correct that, I'm pretty much done with you. I'll keep you at a distance. And I kept him at a distance because I saw something that he did that made me do that. And I never brought him any place in my mind forward from that place. And I know you're going to say, well, did you judge him? No, I didn't judge him. Let me tell you what he did. My mentor, Apostle Thomas's mentor, Bishop Leo Stallworth, had him at his church, and he attempted to rebuke Bishop Stallworth. And when that happened, Bishop Stallworth pretty much closed his revival down. And the opportunity that he had for a father, because if Bishop Stallworth didn't know how to do nothing else, bro, he knew how to father preachers. Am I right about it, Apostle?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Just look at the results. And he basically told Bishop Stallworth to be quiet, and then bragged about it. He told Bishop Stallworth to be quiet. This is my revival. Now understand, Bishop Stallworth is a man that did revival back in the day. So until they had to close off whole street outside. They had to come and pull and they had to come and put speakers outside the auditorium because there were so many people, and block the street, block the whole road, the whole street off. I've been with Bishop Stallworth in Brooklyn, New York, where the church was so packed until people had to wait outside. They waited for hours just for him to come pray for them on curves, on street curves. Those of y'all that's from New York area, y'all know what I'm talking about. And this young boy that's just getting started, not even 23 years old, going to tell him, this is my revival at his church. And basically, you be quiet and let me do what I do. Some people have been neglected of fathers, and some people have neglected the father.
And some have rejected the father.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
When I was 29 years old, I wound up on Bishop Leo Stallworth's pulpit. He had from 12 to 1,500 people on Sunday morning at that time. This was before he put the pews in the church, and he had chairs. And I was 29 years old, and I was preaching in Harlem, New York. And I was preaching in his church. Probably that Sunday morning, it was probably maybe about 12 or 1,300 people in the building. And he rebuked me that morning. I thought I was hot stuff. I was 29 years old, had been preaching all over the country at that time. I felt like the reason why I was there is because I was good enough to be there. And I almost basically told him that. But before I wrecked myself, I checked myself. When Apostle Thomas, when he rebuked me about my hair,
yes, sir.
Before I wrecked myself, I checked myself.
Yes.
Yeah. And I went on so many shut-ins with him.
That's where we met, at one of his shut-ins.
That's right. I went on the shut-ins with him, and I'll never forget laying in his church by myself. I came and took care of his church while he took his family on a vacation to the UK. They went to the UK. Him and his wife and his daughters and his son, they flew over to London. And he asked me to come and keep the church and pray and fast while. That's when I knew I had arrived, that I could go into his church and stay there, and he could trust me to lead his church in the prayer and fasting. I'm telling you, we have lost something, and I don't know if this generation don't get teachers back, if this generation don't understand the principle of honoring mothers and fathers, see, then the next generation will be worse. We owe it. We are looking at our wretchedness right now. Amen. Play the closing. I'll be right back. Don't go nowhere, y'all. Apostle Thomas, you still there? You know, I was just sitting here thinking about something that Bishop Stallworth told me when I was about 30 years old. Maybe I'd gone back. He liked me after I was there, after he rebuked me and put me in my place.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah. After Bishop rebuked me and put me in my place, he kind of liked me after that, took me under his wing. And
wanted to leave you his church.
Yeah, tried to leave me the church. Tried to
because you endured instruction.
Yeah. He tried
you could endure rebuke.
Mm-hmm. Something he told me that changed my life forever. And I had already, read the Bible all the way through. By the time I got to him, I had already read the Bible from Genesis to Revelation because we were taught that. And we were taught that the majority of preachers have never read the whole Bible. And so I was determined to read the whole Bible because I knew that this was something that the majority of preachers had not done, read the entire Bible from Genesis to Revelation. But I'll never forget, he critiqued me one Sunday morning after I got through preaching, came downstairs in the office. He had that downstairs office. And he came downstairs in the office, and I was sitting over on the sofa. He was sitting behind the desk, and he looked over across to me, and he said, "You are a good teacher." He said, "But you need to read the Bible more." He said, "You need to read the Bible more." Now, mind you, I'd already read the Bible all the way through, and I was always a Bible student. But when he told me that, I took it to heart. I didn't feel some kind of way about it. I read the Bible. I didn't feel some kind of way about it. I felt like he was seeing something that I didn't see. That's how I felt. I felt like, okay, God must have let him see something that I don't see about myself. And I took it to heart, what he said. And I started reading the Bible even more because it was necessary for me to follow his instruction. Even though I felt like, okay, I've read the Bible all the way through and I'm a Bible student and yada, yada, yada. And I wouldn't, if I wasn't a good teacher, he wouldn't even be having me at his church and yada, yada, yada. He looked at me and he says, you need to read the Bible more. That's okay. I hear you. I'll never forget, we went there for a conference in the 90s. Dr. Regina, Prophet Renee, Apostle Dion, Prophet Joel, all of them was with me. And I'll never forget, he came to our hotel. We had, Pastor Cece was there. Even Pastor Cece's mom came on that trip. Yeah, Mother Dusty came on that trip with us. I'll never forget. We're in the hotel lobby. And they had never seen me in a situation to where I was completely and totally submissive to somebody. Now, they had seen me, in my apostolic office and my apostolic authority. What they had not seen, what they had never seen was they had never seen me in a situation where I was completely and totally, Apostle Thomas, submitted to somebody. And I'll never forget, I looked down, we were standing in the hotel lobby, and the lobby is so all of my people are there, and he's coming to check on us and make sure that we're fine. And we stand in the hotel lobby, and I looked down, and his shoe was untied. And I stopped what I was doing in the conversation with him and bent down and tied his shoe. Now, I didn't think nothing about it. But when I looked at the faces of my people that was with me, it was like, it was like a revelation to them that I thought enough of this man that I would get down on one knee and tie his shoe so that he doesn't have to do it, because he don't even know that his shoe is untied. But you know what though, Apostle Thomas? I watched him minister to Bishop in that same way. Dad was his spiritual father, and I watched him look out for Dad Cleveland like that. This generation don't have that. That's something that this generation came up without. That kind of teaching of humility and walking in humility.
There was a time, Apostle, where our leaders could actually, it's hard to believe in this day, but our leaders could actually silence us.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I once was silenced for something I didn't do for 4 months. I was silenced for getting the girl pregnant. I told him I didn't do it. And that for 4 months, when that baby came 4 months later, it was almost white. And I was released from being silent. But for 4 months, I came to church and I sat down and I was faithful just like I normally would be. But now we can't do nothing for God unless we're getting paid for it, and we don't want it. You try to silence somebody nowadays, they leave the church. Lord told me.
Yeah. Well, I would have allowed him to silence me. I would have allowed him to silence me. But people nowadays think there's something wrong with that. But that was submission to authority and to spiritual fathers and spiritual mothers. Bishop Stallworth spoke harshly to me. And I'll never forget when he started treating me as an equal to him. how that made me feel. And I could talk to him on a certain level. And I made it up in my mind that I would never be disrespectful to him. See, listen, don't talk. Close the chat, please. Close the chat. Close it right now.
Done.
Thank you. I don't care how you feel about what we was talking about. Some of the stuff, keep to yourself. He could have silenced me and I would have went somewhere and sat down and been quiet until he released me.
Also, if that was abuse, I really wish somebody abused me again. If that did for my life.
My pastor, a woman pastor, I got saved under a woman pastor, Pastor Hannah Munger, rebuked me so hard and did it in front of people and humiliated me. And I took it. She didn't even respect the fact that I was fasting one time. I was fasting, shutting in. She called me out of my shut-in to come and move a piano. And I went and did it, Apostle. I didn't call her back and say, could you get somebody else? I came out of the shut-in and went and moved the piano and went back in the shut-in. I felt some kind of way about it. I felt like she could have called somebody else, but obviously she couldn't. I came and moved the piano from upstairs to downstairs, a whole piano. Why God used me now. We don't have that. That was something that was taught. You can't even have a conversation with people today without them interrupting you, and you can't even tell them nothing. You can't even talk to them because they know everything. God got to help us. He said, Dr. Hunt, I won't be back on the Zoom, but then the Zoom ain't for you. It ain't for you. But if we can't turn out no better than this, then we need some more help. We need some more help. Play that prayer, and then we're going to turn it over into the hands of our administrator to initialize our closing intercessor. But pray this prayer. This is why I wanted y'all to stay on. Play that prayer, Mother Consuelo York. Mother.
Hey. If you're a faith
Munger, Pastor Hannah Munger. I was just thinking about her. Mother Consuelo York reminds me so much of Sister Munger, Pastor Munger. They even look alike. And that's the woman that I got saved under, Pastor Hannah Munger. And Mother Consuelo York reminds me so much of her. They even sound alike. She had that same lisp when she prayed and when she preached, just like that. She sounded just like that. And she was a real strong holiness mother. My sister, who is younger than I, got baptized with the Holy Spirit at her church. Now, my mama was sending my little sister around there. My mama wasn't sending her. Sister Munger went around the neighborhood and picked up the neighborhood children. This was before she had any members. She went around the neighborhood and just knocked on the folks' doors and asked them, could she have take their children to church? And they let them do it. My mother let my sister go. And y'all know Prophetess Ivy. They let her go. My mama let her go. Ivy must have been about 7 or 8 years old. But Ivy came home filled with the Holy Ghost, speaking in tongues. And when she came home speaking in tongues, let's see, this had to be in 1959. 1959, Ivy came home speaking in tongues. And my mother saw her little girl talking in tongues. My mother saw her baby daughter talking in tongues. Are you hearing me? Mother Hunt went to church, and that was all she wrote. She never, ever got out of God, because that woman went around the neighborhood getting the neighborhood children. And my sister under me got filled with the Holy Ghost with the evidence of speaking in tongues in that little storefront church around the corner from our house. And my mother went around there and got saved. My mother took care of Pastor Munger on her deathbed. First time my mama ever flew on an airplane, she flew to take care of Pastor Munger while she was taking her last breaths. Those old saints had something. They had something. And, you know, we like to brand them as being religious because they didn't take no foolishness and they didn't put up with junk. Last night, God gave me to tell the study group that it's our permissiveness that has gotten us where we are. And until we fix it, until we change, until we do the will of God, we're going to have this problem that we got. I want to thank y'all guys for being patient this morning and waiting to the end. I want to thank you for putting up with my my sternness, even putting up with that. We got to end the pandemic. It's incumbent for this generation to end this pandemic, to stop this death. I heard Prophet Hunter praying and rebuking body bags and toe tags. We gotta stop a pandemic. I'll say it again. We gotta stop a pandemic, and we're not gonna stop it by decreeing and declaring. We're gonna stop it by repenting, because that's what God is calling for. We're gonna stop it by casting away our idolatry like it's a minstrel's cloth. That's how we're gonna stop it. God bless you. Tomorrow is Friday. I thank God. Come to the end that we keep me in your prayers. Keep my family in your prayers. Ask God to bless my grandchildren as I will yours. God bless you. You're in the hands of our administrator to initialize our intercessor. God bless you.